Hi, I'm going to talk a little bit of World of Goo and its educational value today. World of Goo is a puzzle video game, kind of like Angry Birds, but it's targeted towards a wide audience. It's developed by two former Electronic Arts employees in coffee houses, but nevertheless is a huge success and is available on variety of platforms today. The game requires the players to have some basic knowledge of gravity, like things fall down and connecting items can distribute forces. The player needs to be curious enough to explore into uncharted areas and navigate into the unknown. The player also needs to be able to reason his way through difficult problems, and lastly, have basic understanding of how to interact with the system in terms of dragging and touching. A study was conducted on one of the levels and it revealed interesting findings. The level involves problem solving, reasoning, and knowledge of physics principles. It involves dynamically identifying the goal and the problem, finally generating a solution by managing the interdependent resources. Though not mandatory, it is necessary to know the underlying principles to solve the problem. Based on the skills that can be learned, the two scenarios that might work as transfer are an art project where it involves exploration of creative thinking and playing around with ideas to figure out your goal by narrowing down the scope to possible solutions and reflect on whether you can submit these before the deadline, and to hypothesize whether each of these different features on your art project will work towards pleasing your teacher or your client. With respect to entrepreneurship, it can be useful as user research is started with by exploring, and same way with product research. And you know you need to figure out your goal by exploring your markets, and you can reflect on whether you can make money or whether your idea is profitable, and you need to make hypotheses based on your experience whether each of these features will work or not. The World of Go has simple mechanics to transport goos to the exit pipe. Goos have different properties. Use time box to retrace your path as a second chance. No clues are given at all, so it helps you probe into problem solving and reasoning better. Players learn how to solve different problems based on the scenarios, and they have to reason out and ideate solutions. The game dynamics is adaptive, so you need to apply physics skills on the fly. You may have an option to compete with yourself with obsessive completion distinction on time and the number of goo balls collected. Carefully use your time bugs as they are valuable resources. No clues are given at all, again as the dynamic to reason out better. With respect to learning, it leads to quick thinking and self-assessments which help you based on the number of goo balls collected across levels. The main components of aesthetics involve challenge, as each level provides a new obstacle and tests new set of skills. It leads players to venture into the unknown and explore new ways to use goo balls. The music, sounds, and visuals and the design add to an evocative experience which encourages players to keep playing difficult levels. Learning principles involved are a lot, but one of them is it provides immediate feedback into how gravity works, and the structure precariously wobbles if you don't distribute weight properly. Stability can be evaluated immediately, and the player has the opportunity to correct this by using a time bug. And one more principle that you can see is segmenting and pre-training, which involves introducing simple levels in the initial stages, and these provide us tutorials for the difficult levels to forthcome. Carrying over goo balls can be an interesting feature that can be added as a redesign. This is a popular mechanics which is available in games where it prompts the players to use their resources judiciously. In terms of mechanics, it prompts the players to be conservative about their goo balls and adds to a dynamic of better planning. The improved aesthetics give a sense of challenge and accomplishment when you complete the game. This directly probes the players to solve problems better, and with respect to learning feedback, we give immediate feedback from the number of goo balls you collect, and simple levels allow you to collect more goo balls, which provide another way to assess yourself. Real world examples are another way of applying these concepts. It will promote long term transfer. I was inspired by the idea from the learning principles, which was really helpful in this context. For example, a level that prompts users to build a structure like the Eiffel Tower. With terms of mechanics, more room for players to think creatively as they have a constraint now. Dynamics ask for players for strategy and planning. Aesthetics provide a visual feel of your level when you complete it. You have a mini Eiffel Tower. As per learning objectives, it leads to out of game transfer as players start looking for patterns outside the game and immediate feedback to strategize and segment as you scaffold into the realistic scenarios. I feel this leads to players to think outside of the context in terms of the game and brainstorm about concepts in the day-to-day life and motivate them to think about physics in the scenario. For part 2, I propose a redesign by adding a character which collects food to provide motivation to players to complete the game successfully. I came up with this idea from one of the e-learning principles from Mayer to have an instructional agent to help promote learning. I see this as a form of gamification as it involves an intrinsic motivation of a person to help animals, and kids at a young age might be very empathetic towards animals. And I've segmented it in such a way that you provide feedback on the same screen itself, and the monkey gets the carrot once you successfully choose the right choice. The monkey swings from top and collects the carrot. If you choose the answer wrong, the monkey does not collect the monkey does not collect the food item, and it, in terms of cognitive principle, it adds to an intrinsic motivation for coming oneself with scope for improvement. Notice that the watermelon is not eaten away, is eaten away, sorry. Again, highlight the banana and add it to the plate to know that it is the right solution. And finally, the watermelon is eaten away when you complete the game, indicating that you can still play better. I mean, since the monkey adds to extraneous load, think of a way to improve the experience with reducing the details of the character but preserving the idea.